So today, from the title of this video, obviously you can see that I'm going to be recapping my summer. Quick disclaimer, I'm filming this in my dorm room right now, so this is my bed and this is the background that we're going with the lighting and everything like that. Also, if you hear a subtle sound in the back, that's the fan right over here. I'm actually going to point it right at me. Yeah, because it is hot as balls up in here. Yeah, so hello there guys, welcome back. This is my second comeback video. It's kind of weird coming back to YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoyed my last move-in vlog that I posted. I've received some good stuff back. Make sure to keep leaving me questions down below in the comment section. Ask me about the move-in process, about the school I go to. Like I said, I go to Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. I'm a communication studies major. I've already gotten some questions, but keep asking more questions below because I'll probably do some sort of college Q&A or just kind of explanation of my school. But anyway, today's video is kind of a summer recap. So since I took such a break from YouTube, and I was really into travel diaries, as some of you guys might know, traveling. My family traveled a lot. I like to make videos of it. I did a lot of traveling this past summer, the summer between high school and college here. And since I didn't really do much, I wasn't active on my YouTube channel, I didn't make a video of that. And I have some footage actually from my spring break trip back when I went to Hawaii, and I'm still maybe if you guys want to see that, let me know. I can put a video together because I really do enjoy making those types of videos. They're really fun. But yeah, so since I didn't wasn't active on YouTube, you guys didn't get to see what I did this summer. So I thought I'd kind of sit down and do this recap of my summer. I don't even know if this will interest you guys at all, but I don't know. I kind of like to talk about it. I had a really fun summer. I'll kind of insert pictures somewhere here on the screen as I go through this explanation of my summer recapping, so you guys can kind of see. And if I have little clips here and there, I'll definitely insert those as well. But yeah, that's what today's video is, and let's just jump right into it. Okay, so let's start back May of 2016. I graduated high school on May 15th. And then 3 days later, I actually had foot surgery. So I had surgery on my right foot from an injury actually back in December of 2014. So it was a long time coming before I got the problem fixed. But I actually had foot surgery 3 days after graduating, so that was quite an adventure. I'm all good now. I did physical therapy all throughout the summer. I'm still getting back into dancing, and it's stronger now, and we're good. But yeah, so I had that, and then 3 days after that, I actually had a grad party with my friends, so that was kind of interesting to be at my own grad party, handicapped. And then 4 days after my foot surgery, I went to the East Coast, and so me and my family went up to Philadelphia and Delaware to visit my aunt and uncle and my baby cousin. So here's some pictures and stuff from that. And yeah, so we went up to visit them for a couple days, and then me and my parents took the train up to New York City while my siblings stayed behind with my aunt and uncle. And it was a trip for me and my parents, just kind of a post-graduation trip. I talked about doing it for about a year ago. When I came the idea with my mom, I was like, hey, after graduation, could we do this kind of trip? And they were all for it, and so it was just a little way for me to spend some time with my parents. But of course I was handicapped. I had a knee scooter, which I'll insert this picture from. Yeah, that was awesome to be knee scootering around New York City. I don't really recommend it. It's not the funnest thing in the world. I mean, there are some perks because you get into lines. A lot of people take pity on you, so you get to cut lines and stuff like that. But it's not too fun going out those streets, and with New Yorkers, they're busy. They're very busy people, and yeah, so I did that, and we did all the touristy things. And we went to 9/11 Memorial, and we had dinner at the top of the Marriott. We did Times Square. We saw a Broadway show. We saw Finding Neverland, which I highly oh, my mother is calling me. Hold on. Anyway, sorry about that. I had to talk to my mom for 2 seconds. So, yeah, where was I? As I was saying, okay, yes, so Finding Neverland was an amazing show. If you ever get to see it on Broadway, I highly suggest it. it was just a great show, and the soundtrack was amazing. I listened to it for like the rest of summer. I still listen to it every now and then. It's amazing. So yeah, so we did that in New York City. We did like Central Park, Brooklyn, like that sort of thing. And that wrapped up our quick trip in New York. We took the train back to Delaware, Philadelphia, picked up my siblings, came back home. And then the entire month of June, I was at home in Kansas City. I was recovering. I was still doing physical therapy for my foot, for my surgery. I helped out at my church for 2 weeks, did a little camp. Yeah, I just kind of relaxed, hung out with friends, recovered, that sort of thing, because I knew once July came that it was just going to be a whirlwind. The only place I did spend 2 days here actually for orientation in June. So I did come up here, and at that point I met Aspen Ovard. If you ever want to hear the full story of that, I could also do a video on that. I mean, it's not like too long of a story, but I did meet her here when I was here for June orientation at Santa Monica in Urban Outfitters. Actually, it was a great story. There's a picture on my Instagram. Anyway, so that happened in June, and then July came, and July was crazy. So, on July 6th, which is actually my birthday, it was my 18th birthday, my family flew to Rome to start a 3-week European vacation. And yeah, so it kind of sucked being like traveling on my birthday, but we flew first class, so I couldn't really complain. Also, I was going to Europe for 3 weeks, so I also really couldn't complain. But yeah, so on my 18th birthday, we left for our European vacation, and we flew to Rome. We arrived on the 7th of July, and we spent about 3 days there in Rome, and we did like the Vatican and St. Peter's Basilica and the Colosseum, and it was amazing. And I had literally so much gelato, like so much gelato. I think I had it every single day, and I think once or twice. I think I had it like twice a day. Oh, it was, and the Italian food, pasta, oh my gosh, it was amazing. And it was just a quick little stop in Rome before we flew to Athens to start a trip through Greece. And the reason we actually did this European vacation was because we have a little thing in my family that once you graduate high school, you get to choose a destination in the world that our family will vacation to. And so I couldn't choose between Greece and Italy, but I did end up choosing Greece. But then my parents were like, hey, let's stop for a couple days in Rome beforehand. And I was like, okay. And since my family, we were raised Catholic, and so there was like kind of a special thing with like the Vatican and whatever, and my parents had been there before. So we made that work. So yes, so we did Rome, and then we flew to Athens, and we started a 10-day tour through Greece with Adventures by Disney, which was really cool. And you're kind of like, maybe like, why'd you do Adventures by Disney? My family is obsessed with Disney, literally obsessed. We literally can't go a year without doing something Disney related, whether it's a cruise, Disney World, Disneyland, Adventures by Disney trip. Like, we can't go a year without going to Disney, doing something Disney. We love Disney. And we've done a trip actually with them before to London and Paris back in 2011, so about 5 years ago. And we love them, and they're super family friendly, and they're just really great with families and kids. And I mean, even as an 18-year-old, I definitely enjoyed the trip. It was so fun. And so yeah, so we started in Athens with them, with the tour, and we spent about 3 days there. And then we flew to Santorini, the island of Santorini, which is the Blue Domes. Yes, you probably all know it. Gorgeous. Santorini is absolutely my favorite place I've ever been. It's so beautiful, and it was so fun. We like hiked up a volcano, we had a day on a boat, and we got to shop, and I bought a really pretty dress and some jewelry, and it just felt so good. And the cuisine all throughout Greece, not just in Santorini, but it was amazing. And oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So we did Santorini, and then we took a boat from Santorini to the island of Crete, and that's where we wrapped up the tour. And we spent I think 4 days in the island of Crete at a lovely resort, doing lots more stuff. It was just amazing. Like, here, I'm sure pictures, future Emily is editing this, putting pictures in. It was beautiful, and I got to meet this really sweet family that was really cool, because it was a tour, like a family tour with Adventures by Disney, and they were such a cool family. There were 5 kids, so sweet, and I got to like hang out with them, and basically became like a babysitter. It was like a free babysitting job, but it was like the best babysitting job I've ever had because there would be long bus rides, and it was let's play with Emily Snapchat on her phone for hours, and they were just the most amazing kids, and they were so cute and so fun. And so yeah, so we did that tour all throughout Greece. It was amazing. It was beautiful. The food, the culture. Oh, I mean, it was a sight. It was beautiful, amazing. And then from there, we flew back from Crete to Athens, and then from Athens we actually flew to Paris. So you're like, oh my gosh, Emily, you just keep going. Yes, so Paris got added to the trip because when we were doing flights back from Greece, we realized that it was longer to fly from Athens back home than it was to fly from Athens to Paris, Paris back home. And it just so happened, like with the way the trip was lining up, that my parents' 25th wedding anniversary was like falling on the next day from like returning home if we just flew straight home from Greece. So my parents were like, why don't we just fly to Paris and spend like 2 days in Paris? So we did, because why not? So yeah, so we flew from Athens to Paris, and this was my third time actually being in France. We went, like I said, back in 2011, did a trip to Paris, and then back in the summer of 2014, I did a 2-week trip with my French class, and that was really fun. So this was my third time being in Paris and being in France, and third time's the charm, man. It was so beautiful, and it was so cool to be like in the city of love on my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. They did one of those like little locks. I'll show the picture here. They put it on the lock bridge, and it was so cute. And we did the Eiffel Tower, and what else we did? We did Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, I could say, since I took French, and Sacré-Cœur, which is my favorite place ever. Sacré-Cœur is beautiful. And yeah, it was just really cool to like add that to the trip and just kind of like do it. And because the trip, it kind of was cool because we started the trip on my 18th birthday and finished it sort of like at my parents' 25th wedding anniversary, which was really cool. And actually, fun fact, when we were in Greece, because the trip kind of fell in between those two events, the tour guides gave both me a birthday cake and my parents an anniversary cake, and so we had 2 freaking cakes, whole cakes, when we were in Santorini, only for 2 days. And so we finished those cakes in 2 days. Don't judge us. But anyway, that's just a little side note I just thought of. But yeah, so we did Paris, and it was amazing, and it was beautiful, and it was so cool to be back there for the third time, and it was just amazing and a great way to celebrate my parents' wedding anniversary. And then yeah, so then we flew home from Paris, and that wrapped up our 3-week European vacation. So we came back from Europe, and I think I literally had a week. I think I had about a week. No, less than a week, because we came back on a Friday, and I left the following Thursday for Lollapalooza. Oh my lord. Okay, so yes, so then I went to Lollapalooza with 4 of my other friends. We had a flight. We left Kansas City at 5:30 in the morning on the day of Lollapalooza, and we flew to Chicago, which is only like an hour flight, so it was super quick. But after being up, we were up at 3:30, and then like the first day of the festival, the check-in process was crazy, like trying to check into the hotel and changing in the hotel bathroom after being up since 3:30, and then going to a music festival all day long. Like, it was the longest day of my life, and I was exhausted, but it was so much fun. So yeah, so we flew to Chicago for Lollapalooza, and we were there for 4 days. They bumped up the festival this year. It changed from being 3 days long to 4 days long, and let me tell you, that is insane. You hit your peak on like the 3rd day, and the 4th day we were just exhausted. Plus, one of my friends was sick, so we had to deal with that. But it was it was so fun. It was an incredible experience. It kind of rained on and off the first 2 days, so that kind of sucked, but then it cleared up the last 2 days, but it also helped because we were just dancing and sweating, and like we had like a big EDM party at one of the stages in the rain. Like, it was so cool, and like everything. And it was the first like independent trip that I'd done, and doing it with my friends. like flying and checking the hotel and being in a hotel with them for 4 days and like figuring ourselves out around the city. I love Chicago. Chicago is such a beautiful city. I actually have a friend that goes to school there right now, so she kind of knew the city and helped us out, and it was amazing, and the music was amazing. My favorite sets I could say were Major Lazer. That one was insane. Ex-Ambassadors, so good live, like honestly so good live. Jack Garrett. I love him. Halsey, she was amazing. Who else? Oh my gosh, there were just like so many people. Here's pictures and clips that are probably being shown. I mean, it was incredible. Like I said, 4 days long was insane, but it was just the most fun experience, and the fashion and just like everything was so cool. And also, the Greeting Committee, they're a local band. They grew up in Kansas City, actually went to a local high school. One of my friends is like friends with them, and we got to see them play at Lollapalooza, so that was so cool to have like a little bit of home and like there and see them play at a big music festival, which is insane, and it was so cool. So I did Lollapalooza, and like after being home for less than a week from Europe, and then I came back from Lollapalooza, and once again I was at home for a little less than a week before me and my younger sister Allison flew to Fort Lauderdale to visit my great aunt and great uncle who lived down there. I hadn't seen them. They lived in Fort Lauderdale for like 10 years, I think, or no, 8 years. But I had yet to visit them in Fort Lauderdale. They used to live in Atlanta before that. And my sister had gone and visited them a couple years back, and she was like, it's so fun. And we just like hadn't seen them, and I really wanted to see them before I went off to college. And that was just a really fun trip. And it was kind of crazy because that trip occurred like when I had friends that were already going to school, like starting college and stuff like that, and I was like chilling on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, it was kind of funny. But yeah, and so me and my sister did that, and once again it was like getting to travel and spend some time with my sister was really fun. It was around the time that was when the Olympics were going on, so that was a huge deal as well. Had just like so much fun with that, and yeah, it was just like so good to hang out with them and see them. And Florida is beautiful. I will say, after now being on the West Coast, I had never noticed this, but I went to the beach like 2 weeks ago here in LA. The Pacific Ocean is freezing. The Atlantic Ocean is amazing. Like literally in Fort Lauderdale, I like put on my sunscreen, let it sit in, and then went right into the water, and it was just so, like, it wasn't hot, but it was like not cold. It wasn't freezing. It was just such a refreshing temperature, and it was so nice. And like now I've noticed that, I'm like, there is a difference between the water temperatures and the coasts. Just a little fun fact. But yeah, and so we got to spend time with them. We went boating. They have like boat, and it was really nice. And they live in a high-rise condo, and then they have a guest condo, so me and my sister got to stay in there. And yeah, it was just really fun to like see them and hang out for a few days. And then me and my sister flew from Fort Lauderdale to St. Louis so that I could see my grandparents and my aunt and uncle and my cousins who live in St. Louis before I went off to college. I got to see them, hung out there, did some of my favorite local things in St. Louis, such as going to Ted Drew's.
The first thing my family does when we come to St. Louis is go to the best ice cream place you will ever go to.
Which is amazing, frozen custard. We went to Schnucks, amazing grocery store.
Okay, another place that you have to go to when coming to St. Louis is Schnucks, best grocery store in the world, folks.
Like, you're like, what? These aren't even highlights, but trust me. We went to brunch, which was a really good place called The Barn.
Okay, so another place that my fam always comes to when we go to St. Louis is called The Barn, best breakfast food.
I'm just like listing off. Basically, I'm just being a tour guide right here. I'm like telling you all the places to go to. Yeah, and so then we drove, my parents and my younger brother, they drove up to St. Louis and picked us up from the airport, me and my sister, and then we drove back from St. Louis, and then I was at home for about a week and a half, saying my last of my goodbyes to my friends that were still in town, and then I came off here to college, and you guys saw my move-in weekend. So yeah, that was my summer. Literally basically I had my little trip post-graduation to New York, but then once July hit, it just was crazy. I was constantly like living out of a suitcase, like nonstop. I was at home for each of those trips less than a week before I went on the next one. They were crazy experiences, some of the best experiences of my life. Like honestly, it was so insane and so much fun to like do all of that and be everywhere. And I'm obviously so blessed and fortunate that like I actually get to do that stuff, and that like I have the opportunity to travel as much as I do, or my family does. And like I know I like don't take any of that for granted. And I don't mean to make this video to like brag and like talk about it. I just like love sharing and talking about like, if you ever get the chance to experience the world and to travel the world and see things, like please do, because it's so eye-opening, and it opens your eyes to so much that you like never could experience. And it doesn't even, you don't even have to go far, like literally going to a music festival in Chicago, or like, I don't know, it's so amazing to be able to do it. And I had like one of the craziest summers and the best summers, and it was a lot before like starting college, because like you'd think that you'd want like a chill summer, but I was like go, like no, throw everything at me, let me do everything and anything. But I think that was because I was like, now since starting college, I don't know what I'll be doing. Oh, sorry, I'm getting text messages. I don't know what I'll be doing for the rest of my summers of college, you know, whether it's jobs or internships or whatever. So I had a crazy busy summer throwing everything at me because I didn't know what was going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, and I kind of just took everything in while I could and enjoyed it. And it's just so crazy now to like think back, like, and even like when I was finishing up summer and or even when I was in Europe and I was sitting there thinking like, at the beginning of summer, for me, like, which started in like mid-May, I was like handicapped, and I use that word very lightly. I had foot surgery. I literally could not use my leg and my right foot and my right leg for 2 weeks because I was in casts and I was on a knee scooter, and I went through that, and you could tell the difference when I came out of that. They finally took my cast off, and you could see the difference in terms of like muscle definition between my left and my right leg, and how weak my right leg was, to go from that at the beginning of summer to like doing all this travel and walking and everything I was doing for all of summer. And like, I don't know, it was just so crazy to me. I got to like look back at the end of summer before starting college, and I was just like, that's insane. Like, that happened. Like, that actually happened to me. And yeah, so that anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, this little recap of my summer. Enjoyed the pictures, enjoyed the clips. As I said, did not make this video to brag whatsoever. Yeah. But, oh, also, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to mention, I got a tattoo. That was part of my summer too. You know what? This video is already probably really long, so if you want to see a video about my tattoo and the process and what it is and everything like that, it's right here on my wrist. It says "Be Weird." Let me know in the comments below, or give this video a thumbs up or whatever. But I did get that like a week before starting college. I did it with my best friend Riley. We both got tattoos, not the same one, but at the same time, kind of for moral support. So that happened, and if you want to see a little video on that, let me know. And yeah, so that was my video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Like I said, leave comments, questions below asking me about whatever, anything, just say hi. I don't really know. But if you want to ask questions about like university and stuff like that, for sure go ahead and do that. I know like for people that like LMU is not a really well-known school, at least it wasn't for me coming from the Midwest, and so there's not a, and I remember searching everything on YouTube to try and find out about it, so I really want to try and make content that like helps people. So if you want to see a video like that, then let me know. And yeah, I think that's it. I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.